Y'all ready for this? Kawanda effect. Hello and welcome. I am so excited because today I am finally sharing my thoughts on the infamous Dyson Airwrap. I have been eyeing the Dyson Airwrap for so long. I have been a loyal Revlon one-step styler customer, user, lover for like well over 2 years. I have used that Revlon one-step styler like every time I have washed my hair, and I really wanted this for a while, like over a year, but I never picked it up because I didn't like the colors. And I know that sounds silly, but I didn't want to spend $549 on a fuchsia, $549 US, by the by, on a fuchsia hair appliance. Not really into the color fuchsia. Just, I don't know. I don't want to spend that much money on something that's fuchsia. If you do, that's totally cool. But for me, not my color. I'm spending a lot of time on the color. This is a long way to say that when I saw the copper edition of the Dyson Airwrap on Sephora's app, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want. I knew it was finally time to get it. I went ahead and picked it up. I got what is called the complete set in the copper gift edition. And oh my gosh, you guys, I have a lot of thoughts that I'm excited to share with you. I have been using this every other day. I wash my hair about every other day. Every time I've washed my hair for the past few weeks, I have used this and I have learned a lot. How I use this is completely different than how I thought I would use it. So I have a lot of things to share. I'm going to start off by saying there are a ton of like sciencey things about this, like aerodynamic airflow and something called the Kawanda effect, which I literally have had to look up 3 times just now because I keep forgetting the name of it. Basically, it's a lot of scientific stuff that boils down to using less heat on your hair because of the way the airflow works. I'm not going to get into it because I find it to be tedious, and for me, okay, less heat equals good. That's all I need to know. What I am going to cover in this video are 3 main parts. I will put timestamps down in the description box below so that if there is a particular, section that you want to jump to, you can do so. The first section is going to be unboxing. I'm going to unbox, show all the attachments so that you can kind of see how the color looks kind of true to life. The second section is going to be my experience with the Airwrap. So I'm going to go over the styles that I have gotten with the Airwrap, including this one, my Beachy Waves. This was definitely the hardest one to get. I'm also going to share some of my little tips and tricks that I found worked for my hair. That's another thing I want to mention. My hair is very fine and it's very naturally curly. So for me, going into it, I was not really sure if the Dyson Airwrap was going to work for me because I didn't really see a lot of reviews of people who had naturally curly hair, and then if they did, their hair wasn't fine. There's a big difference between curly hair that is fine and curly hair that is coarse. So I really wasn't sure if this was going to work for me, and there's definitely some adjustments I had to make. I'll talk about that all in that second section of my experience. And then we're going to wrap up with who I think should buy and who I think should pass, because no matter how much I love a product, that doesn't mean that it's for everyone. In fact, I don't think there's a single product on earth that works for every single person, except for Heinz ketchup. Heinz ketchup is the best ketchup, and it definitely works for everyone, unless you don't like ketchup, in which case you're weird, but that's okay. I still love you. Before we jump into the unboxing, double check, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. It makes me happy, it makes you happy, and it gives you a chance to enter my monthly giveaway. All right, let's unbox the Dyson Airwrap. Okay, so you can immediately see this is such a beautiful case. I'm not sure. I will do a check and see if the non-gift edition comes with this presentation case, is what they call it. But for me, this is exactly what I expect when I spend this much money, is just beautiful, really nice, a good presentation. So I'm loving this. This clasp right here is magnetic. I love that. So it's not something you have to fiddle with. It's just a magnet. The color is beautiful. And when you open it up, this is so nice. There's felt in here. This black part is felt. Then you have another little faux leather insert. and then the goodies. I mean, that to me is just, I love the presentation of this. I think this is just beautiful. So here is the Airwrap styler. I mean, the first thing I noticed is just how beautiful this copper color is. I am so glad that I waited until this came out, because if I would have got the fuchsia and then seen this, I would have been really kicking myself. Like, this is so beautiful in my opinion. So this is the Airwrap styler itself right here. I just love how this is laid out. It's beautiful. And then right here, this is the pre-styling dryer. So this is what you use to dry your hair a bit before you start to style. Again, the copper is just, I think, so beautiful. I am so glad that I got this color. And now here are the Airwrap barrels. So these right here are the two 1.2 inch. You get one for each direction. So there's two of those. So it is sectioned off so that you can keep all the parts organized, which I really like. Now these are the 1.6 inch Airwrap barrels. Again, this copper color is just, I think, so beautiful. Those are those two. Then here we have the soft smoothing brush. You can tell the difference because the soft smoothing brush has the colored bristles. So you'll see the bristles have color. That's how you know it's the soft one. The firm one right next to it does not have colored tips on the bristles. So these are both smoothing brushes. One is firm, one is soft. This is the round volumizing brush. This is most similar to what I like to use to blow out my hair right now. So I'm really hoping this is going to be a hit with my hair. And again, so nice. I think this is a good size. It looks a little bit bigger than the 1.6 inch Airwrap barrel. And again, this is a round brush. So this is to, volumize. If you're someone who blows your hair out with a round brush and a blow dryer, that's what I used to do. And then I moved on to the Revlon One Step. And so now that I have this, I'm hoping that this is going to take the place of that. So again, just the presentation is so beautiful. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely love that. And then you also get a travel bag. So this is the travel bag. It's got like a nice like faux suede kind of feel. Really loving that. And again, magnetic, which is so nice. And then you can fit everything in here. It pops out. You can fit everything in there. There's an extra little side pocket for clips. And it's magnetic. So I think this is so nice that they have this travel bag for it. But I'm going to be honest, this, what they call the presentation case, this just takes the cake for me. That is so nice.
All right, now we're gonna move on to my experience with the Dyson Airwrap. Now the way I'm gonna structure this is I'm basically gonna talk through the 3 styles that I use the Airwrap for. These are the 3 styles that I consistently do my hair in. There are 3 styles I use like 99% of the time. The first is a classic blowout. The second are classic curls. And then the third way I wear my hair is in like beachy kind of waves, like today. Now, because my hair is naturally curly and very fine, before I had the Dyson Airwrap, I would have to blow out my hair no matter which of these 3 styles I was using. So like if I was gonna curl my hair, I would blow it out first and then curl it. Same goes for waves, blow it out and then use a curling iron to get waves. So just something to note as we move forward. Now for each of these styles, I'm gonna show you like visual aids of me actually doing my hair so you can kind of see what's up. So the first style is the classic blowout. Now it did take me several tries to get my classic blowout with this as smooth as it is when I use my Revlon One Step Styler. And here's why. Because I did not believe people when they said you have to get your hair like 80% dry or 70% dry with the pre-styler and then go on and use whatever like styling tool you want to use. I didn't believe that. I thought there's no way that's gonna work for me because my hair has too much texture to it. I just didn't believe folks. And so initially I tried to just go straight in with the volumizing brush without pre-drying, or maybe only pre-drying like, I don't know, like maybe 20%. I found out that's not the case. What actually works for me is drying my hair, about 80%. However, I do want to note that on my hair, because my hair is very fine and I, do a lot of like masks and treatments just because my hair is color treated, my hair actually tends to dry pretty fast. So what I found was really helpful for me was taking the mohawk section of my hair, clipping it away and not pre-styling that part with the rest of my hair. I found that was really important for me, but I would then go in and pre-style, like pre-dry my hair. So I can use this one, this pre-styler, but again, because my hair is very fine and I'm prone to flyaways, I would suggest making sure that you use a lower airflow, which is something you can do. Now, that like airflow control is something that I don't think I really realized was there until like the second week I was using this. So there is definitely a learning curve with this. We'll talk about that in the third section, but just know that you're definitely gonna have to learn how to use this tool. It's not something that, you just get it and it's like every other tool you've ever used. It definitely takes like a little bit of practice. And I would say that for me with each of the styles, probably the second or third time, I definitely felt like I had more of a grip on it, but I'm still like learning and getting better at it, even though I've been using it for 3 weeks. So I definitely feel like it's something that you kind of have to go into it knowing that you're gonna have to learn how to use it, especially because I feel like the experience can kind of vary from hair type to hair type. Now with the classic blowout, once I, figured out that yes, you do need to pre-style your hair, you do need to go in and get it kind of about to that 70-80% dry part, and then go in and smooth it and style it with the volumizing brush if you're going for like a classic blowout like I like. Once I got that, figured out, I got the most beautiful blowouts with this thing. Oh my gosh. The blowout that I had in one of my recent videos, it was so voluminous. I am generally somebody who puts in like maybe 1 or 2 like clip-in extension wefts just to give myself some volume. I didn't have to do that because my hair had like so much body to it, so much fullness that I wasn't getting when I was like blowing my hair out with a round brush or blowing my hair out with the Revlon One Step Styler. This Dyson Airwrap gives me so much like airy, bouncy volume. It's honestly addicting. I absolutely love it. And I just, wow, like I can't even put into words. I thought people were kind of full of crap. I'm not gonna lie. I watched so many reviews before I bought this and I thought I was like, they're just full of it. Like there's no way that thing is that nice. It's really nice and it really does give you an incredible bounce. So that's something that I would say, like going into it just with the blowout, I was like, wow, I already am in love with this because, with the blowout, you can twist it, kind of curl your hair under, pull it, you know how you can kind of do your wrist, like with a round brush. You can do the same thing with this and you just get this amazing like bounce and a bit of curl. Just starting off the bat with just that first style, absolutely think that it does an amazing job. But I don't think that if all I was gonna do is blow my hair out, I don't think it would have been worth it. And what's funny is I went into this, buying this product thinking that, well, there's no way I'm ever gonna use these curling barrels. Like it's just not gonna happen. And spoiler alert, it did happen. So let's get into the second, I've got some notes here. Let's get into the second hairstyle, which is classic curls. So again, with classic curls, I thought there is no way I'm gonna be able to use this because I need my hair to be smooth. And I thought, well, I'm just not gonna be able to get my hair smooth enough. But I was pleasantly surprised. Okay, so for curls, what I ended up doing is, again, pre-styling my hair, but what I found worked best for me was pre-styling with one of the smoothing brushes. So I would go in and pre-dry with like the firm smoothing brush, and I would pre-dry my hair and then go in with the 1.6 inch. Oh wait, that's not the 1.6 inch. These are the 1.6 inch. I would then go in with the 1.6 inch barrels and curl my hair. Now, here's a tip. I'm just gonna throw that in there. If you're having a difficult time figuring out which barrel to use on which side, just take them, put them next to your face, And if you want your curls going away from your face, which is what I tend to go for, then you're gonna wanna put it to your face and make sure the arrow is pointing away from your face. And then that's gonna be the barrel that you use on that side. So that was just like, I mean, it honestly, like if I look at it right here, I don't know which way to go. But if I look in the mirror and I say, okay, yeah, the arrow is going away from my face, I know that that's the right barrel. So highly recommend that. And then I would also say that for me, there were a couple times when I had my hair get a little too dry and it wouldn't be as smooth as I needed it. And what I found was really helpful is just to have like a spray bottle, spray that little section, and then just go back in and smooth it out again. And I can do that either with the firm smoothing brush or the volumizing brush. Either one smoothed my hair cuticle really well. But I only found that happening like a couple times. And again, I think that was more of like the learning process of it, because by like the third time I curled my hair, I was like on autopilot with it. And again, the most beautiful bouncy curls. That's one thing. I curl my hair so frequently, and what I noticed that I was getting here was just like even bouncier curls. They felt very airy. A lot of people speak to that, and it's true. But what really sold me once I figured out that I could curl my hair with this thing was the fact that normally, because my hair is naturally curly and has that texture and is very fine, I would have to blow my hair out and then go in with a curling iron. So 20 minutes blowing my hair out, 10 to 15 minutes curling my hair, that's, 30 to 35 minutes already. Plus, it's 2 heat styles on my hair, 2 heat processes. First blowing out and then going in with the curling iron. With the Airwrap, from start to finish, 23 minutes to curl my hair. The first time, I mean, that's with the learning curve of it. I'm sure I can get it down to like 21 maybe. So, I shortened the time, number one, and number two, I also cut in half the amount of heat I'm putting on my hair, because I'm not drying it completely and then putting on the curling iron heat. I am literally just putting on the amount of heat that it needs to get from wet to dry. So that for me was when I knew this is worth it for me. This is totally worth it for me. So at this point that I can blow my hair out straight, I can curl my hair, there's really only one thing left. And I know that this is a style that a lot of people really like. So I thought it was really important to see, can it do it? And that is what I'm wearing today, which is like just, like a good beachy wave. I love beachy waves. I think they're very popular with most people. And I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, I can't beachy wave my hair with this thing, can I? Yes, I can. It took me a couple tries to figure it out, but it's doable and I love the result. Because again, for me, when I normally do a beachy wave, I have to blow out and then go in with a curling iron and I leave my ends out. All right, but I'm still putting all that heat on my hair. So doing it with the Airwrap eliminates that extra heat, but also I've got all this volume, which my beachy waves used to lack. I mean, my beachy waves used to be like, they're all really like tight together. They're very piecey and they don't like fluff out at all. They stay like very down. And if I try to fluff them out, it doesn't work because they're very like, like the pieces were very like stuck together almost. This gives me the volume, like the volume of the beachy wave that I really like that tousled, lived in kind of look. Like honestly, I love this hairstyle. And this is only, I'm gonna tell you, this is only the second time I've done it. And I feel like it looks great. And I know that as I learn it and continue to kind of give myself these beachy waves using the Airwrap, I'm only going to get better at it. So I'm going to show you what I figured out worked for me was, again, going in with the smoothing brush and making sure that I got my roots almost completely dry and my ends almost completely dry. And I go in upside down, which is going to mean, if you've been paying attention, it's going to mean that you're going to use the barrel that's actually pointing towards your face because it's going to be upside down. So in order to get it going away from your face, you're going to actually need the one that points towards it so that when you flip it upside down, it's going away. So I would use it upside down, wrap my hair, hold the ends, let it heat up, and then put the cool shot on and let my end wrap around just when I'm using the cool shot. And you'll see I get these gorgeous like little pieces of like S waves and then a nice end and that has more straightness to it. And oh my gosh, Absolutely love it. Another tip with the waves is you definitely have to use smaller pieces than I would use when I go in and curl my hair for like a classic curl. But yeah, so I have beachy waves that I feel like I have never gotten my own beachy waves to look this great. This is honestly feels like something that my hairstylist would do when she gives me like beachy waves with like a small round brush and a dryer. Like this is just perfect for me. So at this point, if you're, keeping track, I have found use for basically every single one of these barrels, every single one of the attachments that honestly, I went into this thinking that I was only going to use the volumizing brush and I was only going to, round brush and blow out my hair with this. But no, I can get all three of these styles that I love and go to. And so for me, that has made this worth it. Obviously, I love the way the styles turn out. I think that it's so beautiful. I love using this thing. And for me, it's worth it because I cut down on the amount of heat I'm putting on my hair. I cut down on the amount of time it takes. And I feel like the finished product has more bounce to it, which is super important for someone like me who has very fine hair and is constantly struggling to get like some good volume going on, not just up here, but also throughout my hair. So that's one area that it's just, it outperformed all of my expectations. Now, does that mean that you should buy it? Maybe, but maybe not. And that brings us to the last section of this review, which is who should buy and who should pass. So first up, if you are someone who heat styles your hair daily, every other day, at least 2 times a week, if you are pretty like frequent with your heat styling, I think you might really like the Dyson Airwrap. This helped me cut down on the amount of heat I was putting on my hair, the amount of time I'm putting heat on my hair, which for someone like me who heat styles my hair basically every other day, if not at least twice a week, that's a big deal. I'll also say that if you are someone who heat styles your hair pretty frequently, then most likely you're used to using some kind of hair appliance, be it a curling iron, a curling wand, or even a straightening iron or flat iron to give yourself waves. That to me kind of indicates that, you're used to using hair tools, and I feel like you're going to be in a good spot to kind of learn how to use this. I think that there's definitely a learning curve, but I think that a lot of the fundamentals are the same. I mean, for example, the way that I like go in and wrap my hair for a wave is very similar to the way that I do it with a curling iron. So I think a lot of like the fundamentals of the actual like styling when it comes to like the wavy and the curly styles are very similar. So if you're someone who's used to heat styling a couple times a week, I think you're going to be in a really good position to learn how to use this because a lot of the techniques do tend to be kind of similar. There's just, that little bit of learning curve because this is quite different in how the tool itself achieves that. But like the mechanism of it is very similar in a lot of ways. If you tend to let your hair air dry or you don't heat style very frequently, I think you should pass. So just by its basic function, the Airwrap is a heat styling tool. So if you don't like to heat style your hair, if you don't take that time to blow it out, if you just like to let it air dry and your hair works really well that way, and then just on occasion you might happen to curl it or wave it or straighten it, I don't think you're gonna get enough use out of this. I also wanna say, I feel like in our culture, very frequently, marketing is geared at making you think that, well, if you don't like doing X, product Y is going to suddenly make you want to do X. That's 9 times out of 10, it's just not the case. Like if you don't like blowing out your hair, if you don't like curling your hair, maybe it's not that you don't like it, it's just that you don't want to take the time to do it. This is not going to make you want to take the time to do it. This product is not going to make you enjoy it. It's not going to change your, day-to-day habits. It's just not. So I just want to put that out there because I know that I'm someone that in the past has definitely fallen for those kind of ideas of like, oh, well, if I just buy that black eyeliner, then all of a sudden I'm going to like black eyeliner. It's just not the way the world works. If you have fine hair and struggle to get volume, I really think you're gonna like this Airwrap. I really do. Honestly, even for someone like me who has that curly texture naturally, so I need the smoothing, I still am able to get smoothing and volume. I mean, my hair is so fine. My hair is like baby fine. Baby fine. It's so fine. And this gives me amazing volume that I have never been able to get when I'm giving myself waves or curls. Like this is just, It is a game changer for me. It really is. So if you are someone like me who has fine hair and you really you just don't get why everyone else can have volume and you can't, I think this is really going to help you out. I will say again, I want to touch on it. This airflow control right here is going to be your best friend. For me, I have to bump it down to at least the second one, sometimes the lowest, just because that airflow, slowing it down a little bit is going to help prevent you from having all your hair fly away at once while you're trying to style it, if you have fine hair, because we're more prone to flyaways, and that includes in the actual styling process. So again, I think that this is something that can really work for you and help you get a lot of body. I mean, seriously, I the fact that I'm looking at my hair and I don't have clip-ins right now is huge for me. Huge for me. If you wear your hair the same way every day, I think you should pass on the Dyson Airwrap. Again, you're not going to change your habits. And for me, I don't see how this would make sense for most people financially if you're not going to get a lot of use out of it. For me, that was in my head why I even picked this up, is I loved my Revlon One Step Styler, but the thing was, I kept having it break every 6 months. I had to replace it 3 times in a row every 6 months. It's about $60. And I thought, well, you know what? If I can get this Dyson Airwrap and it lasts 5 years, then even if it's just, head to head doing only what the Revlon One Step Styler did, it will even out in value. And Dyson, come on, Dyson is they are really good at engineering. They make really nice products that do last. So for me, in my mind, going into it, I was like, well, if it lasts 5 years, I'll have made up my money. At this point, I feel like it's worth it beyond even just, if it lasts 5 years, because it's able to do all those styles. It's able to do my blowout, my curls, and my beachy waves. So for me, that's why it's worth it. Now, if you're someone who only wears your hair blown out, you only wear your hair curled, you only wear your hair in waves, I don't know if it's worth it. That's the thing, because I don't know that you're gonna get the use out of it that you need to justify that price point. Again, that's something, when it comes to the price point of it, that's something that only you know and only you can decide for yourself. But I just wanna say that for me, going into this, when I first did the blowout, I was like, well, okay, the blowout's good and I love it, but did I really pay almost $600 for just one hairstyle that I could do with, the Revlon One Step Styler? It wasn't until I was able to get the second and the third style kind of going and felt like I had a good grasp on it that I truly felt like this was worth the money for me. So, food for thought. If you like the Revlon One Step Styler and you've been looking at the Dyson Airwrap, thinking about it, I'm like, is that going to be better? I think I want to get it. I'm not sure. Should I not? I genuinely think you're going to like this. I really do. I use my Revlon One Step Styler every other day for several years. Loved it. If you're using the Revlon One Step Styler, obviously you're heat styling your hair. And I think that you really, again, have that foundation to learn a new product. And honestly, everything I like about the Revlon One Step Styler is what I now like about this, in the sense that for me, when I first got the Revlon One Step Styler, I loved that it blew out my hair faster than using a round brush. It was more comfortable than using a blow dry and a round brush. It smoothed my hair. It gave my hair some volume. It gave me a nice shine. This does all that. But that being said, I've seen a lot of people that have done comparisons in side to sides, and if all you were going to do is blow your hair out, like I spoke about, if all you're going to do is do one style and blow your hair out, then no, you don't need this. But for me, what I discovered was, once I figured out how to blow my hair out with this, I loved the blowout even more, number one. And number two, I loved having all the options. I love the option to curl my hair. I love the option to get these awesome beachy waves that I've got today. I love that. I love having that option to do so in the same amount of time that it would take me to just blow out my hair with the one step. So I don't think that this is a one-to-one replacement for the One Step Styler. I think that it's a completely different product that, yes, can give you a blowout, but also gives you all these other options. And that for me is why ultimately I do recommend it. And I think that if you fall into that camp of you do heat style your hair at least a couple times a week, and you do have the patience to kind of learn a new heat styling product, I think you're gonna like this. All right, guys, that wraps up my review on the Dyson Airwrap, and not a moment too soon because daylight savings time is over. The sun is setting. It is dark at like 4:35. Oh man. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions at all about the Dyson Airwrap, please, please, please leave them in the comment section below. I tend to check my comments quite frequently. The only time I don't really look at them is like on Sundays, but I love getting comments. I love being able to chat with you guys, and I will be so much more than happy to answer any questions you have about anything I talked about or anything maybe I might have missed. Just let me know. I thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, you take care of yourself. Bye.